Hi guys, Brian from the gas station here, and this is the companion to the gas station. I'm calling it It's All Photography, and I'm going to keep stuff on here that's sort of more related to sort of photography and the creative process and stuff like that. You know, maybe we'll do some instructionals and stuff like that, and bring this forward more related to the craft of photography rather than just the gear. But you know, we can always talk about gear here too. So anyway, this is a subject I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and it came about when I went to the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. Museum of Fine Arts in Boston has a great John Singer Sargent collection of paintings. And again, how this started was I was there at the Museum of Fine Arts, and I really like the photorealistic paintings and oil paintings and stuff like that. I was amazed at how these artists can actually do this and make things so realistic. So I was looking at one of these paintings, this painting here on the left here of the little boy. I think it's a little boy. It might be a little girl. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But in the 1800s, 1879, I think the fashions were a little different. But I was looking at this painting, you know, at what would be considered a realistic distance. And I was noticing that I really like the light, and then the you know, the hands and stuff like that, and the details that were in the painting as I was looking at it. You know, the rosy cheeks, and you know, very realistic looking. You can notice the shine in the patent leather shoes and the silver buttons, and the reflection of light in the dog's eye, and you know, the boy's hair is neatly combed and how it's combed and all that stuff. And I just thought it was really, really interesting, and I just was really struck by the lighting and stuff like that. So I was thinking to myself, sort of as a photographer, I'd like to see more detail, and so I started to get closer to it, and this brought me into my pixel peeping mode, where I'm constantly zooming in and 100% crops, and you know, looking at all the detail in the picture. Wow, that's amazing detail out of that lens or whatever it is. But the thing that sort of like hit me in the face as I was looking at this and thinking about it as a photograph, it's not a photograph, it's a painting. So as you get closer to this painting to see more detail, the detail is not there. What you end up seeing is not necessarily detail, but the construction or the manner in which the painting was made. So unless you're looking at this thing from the proper distance, you lose all perspective of the detail, and you start looking at the detail of, you know what, those are mushed, you know, those silver buttons are not silver, they're paint. It's little squares of paint and a mush of, you know, of the paintbrush that he did. Same with the dog's feet and those patent leather shoes we were just talking about. There's no longer patent leather, it's oil painting pushed on there, and you could see the brush marks and all that stuff, the brush strokes and everything there, and you're not finding more detail in this painting. What you're finding, and even the edge of his jacket here, it's just brush strokes. But how can that turn into this, a very detailed photorealistic painting? It's because of what the eye needs to see. Even more so than that, you're looking at now a complete work of art. You're looking at what the artist wanted to convey. You're seeing what his vision was in that painting. It was his expression and something that came out of his head that he wanted you to see, complete with the detail, but only viewed from where it needed to be viewed from, which was, you know, 6 to 10 to 15 feet away or whatever it is. However he felt it needed to be seen from, whatever that distance was. So as we should do that as photographers too. We spend too much time, I think, looking at things at 100% crop. So when you do that, you lose the perspective of what the art is. So, I mean, if you spend all your time shooting brick walls and looking for barrel distortion and vignetting and all that stuff, that's really fun, and it's definitely interesting, and I like it, and I do it too. But I think as artists, we need to take time and step back from that and look at what our photograph or our painting is, or whatever it is that we're putting out there as art or as our craft, and really decide what it is we're trying to convey here. Is what I have just made, does that work as art? Does that work as what I'm trying to share with people? If you spend all your time looking at the chromatic aberration and the barrel distortion and, you know, vignetting and whatever it is, you will lose perspective of your art. Go back and take stock of what you're doing as an artist, and show that to people. It's not important that you have too much noise in your photograph. Does it look the way you need it to look at the right distance? And when you're looking at, if it's just on the screen, if it's on the computer, yeah, you might want to, you adjust it for that. But if you're going to print something, make sure you don't sneak up on it and look at it and go, oh, it's not good close up. Well, yeah, probably not. And neither do his paintings. This other one here on the side here, the woman here. I mean, if you look at that, I mean, he's dealing with mixed lighting there. If you look at it from a photography perspective, he's got sunlight coming in here. He's got yellow light coming in through the shades there. So it's sort of mixed lighting. Has the detail of her dress and the shadows coming off of her arms and the tone of her skin and the composition and where she's sitting. And is she looking, the right way? And is he capturing her the way she needs to be captured? That's all very cool. But if you look at the dress here, like all the great detail on the dress, if you zoom in on that detail completely goes away, and it just turns into white splashes of oil, even texture, like just kind of like a mush, and all the detail on her dress here, just little drabs of paint. Don't lose track of what you're trying to do by worrying too much about the close-up detail, where all the pearls in the dress absolutely perfect and shiny. Well, you know what? He conveyed that message with oil paint. You can do it with a camera. Free yourself a little bit when you're making your photographs. Free yourself from the detail stuff a little bit, and work on your composition. Work on your lighting. Is everything right in the picture? You know what? He cut her feet off. Does it make it a bad painting? No, it's a painting. It's what he wanted to show. Does your photography, do your pictures show what you want to show? Anyway, that's a very quick thing. This was a lot longer. I've redone this about 10 times. I'm having a lot of technical problems today. But anyway, that's it. Brian from It's All Photography and the Gas Station. Give me feedback, guys. I want to grow this channel and make it something useful for everybody. And I want to help everybody grow as an artist. And I'm trying to grow myself. So any feedback, constructive criticism always is welcome. Let's keep the discussion going. That's it, Brian, and you guys take care. Thanks a lot. If I can figure out how to stop this.